The catastrophe off the Massachusetts coast. A jumbo jet, Egypt Air Flight 990, goes down with more than 200 aboard. Most of them Americans, and there is no sign of survivors.
We found portions of seats. We found clothing. We have found some paperwork, including passports.
This is an enormous human tragedy.
We don't know what the cause of the accident is. We'll keep working until we find out.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News, reported by John Siegenthaler.
Good evening, everyone. Investigators are looking for answers tonight, trying to figure out what caused the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990 off the coast of Massachusetts. It happened early this morning. A Boeing 767 carrying 217, including dozens of tourists, suddenly dropped off radar and plunged into the Atlantic. The flight originated in Los Angeles, landed at New York's JFK airport, then it took off for Cairo. The plane crashed about 60 miles south of the island of Nantucket. The day-long search and rescue effort focused on a 36-square-mile area of the Atlantic, but no survivors have been found, and hope fades by the hour. NBC's Robert Hager has been following developments since early this morning. He joins us from our Washington newsroom. Good morning, Bob.
Good evening, John. Well, a tragic accident. The plane flying normally, no indication of trouble, normal radio calls, and then suddenly, apparently without any distress calls from the pilots, the plane drops from the sky at tremendous speed, slamming into the ocean, where the grim search is now winding down for the evening. No sign of life as 4 Coast Guard ships and nearly a dozen aircraft comb a 36-square-mile area of lonely ocean, 60 miles southeast of Nantucket. Coast Guard Admiral Richard Larrabee.
We are working real hard to find survivors.
But hope fading in cold 55-degree water. At least one body recovered, life jackets seen floating, parts of seats, paper, passports, and 2 partially inflated life rafts, perhaps deployed automatically as the plane hit the water and broke up. WNBC reporter Brian Thompson flew over the site.
You could see the oil slick, or the jet fuel slick, if you will. It was very, very distinct in this sea, a very calm sea, which helped, of course, no white caps.
Alan Hall from Channel 13, Nantucket.
There is a debris field. It looks just like a dark brown mess on the ocean.
Earlier this morning, air traffic controllers like these had watched horrified as the plane's blip on the radar dropped suddenly from level flight at a cruise altitude of 33,000 feet, plunging down to 19,100 feet in just 36 seconds. Radar following it for about another minute before it hits the water hard. Unclear yet whether it was breaking up as it fell. An astounding sudden plunge from the sky.
We do not know what caused this tragedy, but we will devote every necessary resource so that we can understand exactly what happened.
This is video of the Egyptian airplane that crashed, taken at Kennedy Airport just last year. It was only 10 years old. 767s like it have an excellent record. One crash in 1990, charter flight over Thailand, when thrust reversers, sort of air brakes, accidentally deployed in flight. And just one other crash later caused by hijackers. And now, today, that dramatic drop to the ocean, so fast it indicates whatever happened, whether mechanical or foul play, was sudden and catastrophic. One hope appears the plane may have had some kind of electric power for at least half its fall. Could mean the plane's so-called black boxes, like these, its flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder, could have run on and provide valuable information if investigators find them. And tonight, from Norfolk, Virginia, the huge Navy salvage ship Grapple leaving for the scene with cameras to lower into the water and deep-sea divers. Other equipment being sent, too, to help locate those black boxes, to listen for the pinging noise that they send out from locator beacons, and sonar being sent, sound equipment, to try to locate shapes of wreckage on the bottom. But it's all going to be difficult. Answers to this tragedy so deep, 250 feet down in the cold Atlantic. John?
And Bob, what are the possibilities when it comes to mechanical problems?
Well, mechanical, you could think about it, some kind of catastrophic structural breakup, the plane simply coming apart because of some structural weakness in flight. You could think of a sudden control problem. I mean, a crew mishandling the plane could tip it over like that and suddenly lose it. Or the most recent example was that TWA 800 crash, which was investigators believe it was an explosion of the center fuel tank. This plane, like most others, also has a center fuel tank.
All right, NBC Robert Hager. Bob, thank you very much.
Really.
Now to the families of those aboard Flight 990, some headed for JFK Airport in New York, hoping for the best, but fearing the worst. NBC's Dan Abrams is there tonight. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, John. This has become the meeting place for the victims' relatives, a place to get information and a place to get help in coping with their loss. It was a heart-wrenching scene. Families of those aboard Egypt Air Flight 990 arriving at an airport hotel, now serving as a makeshift crisis center. Razi Khan spent the day consoling families.
They spoke back with tears in their eyes, red eyes, tears down their cheeks. They have been so shocked because they just bid farewell to their family and beloved ones.
The Red Cross has set up a family reception center here, staffed by at least 15 counselors, specially trained to help trauma survivors.
People often talk about the loved ones that they care about. They bear witness to the time that they had with them, concerns that they had, where they were going. And our people listen and understand and offer some observations when appropriate that might be of some support for people who are feeling terrible grief.
And many of those families are American. 129 of the passengers U.S. citizens, including members of 2 tour groups, one of them organized by this Boston travel agency.
This is a terrible accident. We've been in business for 41 years and never had an accident like this before.
New York City Mayor Rudolph Giuliani has seen the passenger list.
It appears to me as if this covers a large cross-section of America. There are people from California and people from the Midwest and people from Vermont and, Maryland.
The religious leaders who came to console the families came from different faiths: Jewish, Christian, and Muslim.
We are created by God, and our lifespan here is very short. And we have to accept this and try to ask God for patience at this time.
And in Los Angeles today, where Flight 990 originated, an Islamic prayer service in memory of the victims. And throughout the day, distraught family members arrived at the airport seeking news. Back here in New York, officials say this center will remain open as long as the families need it. They say that could be days or even weeks. John?
NBC's Dan Abrams at New York's Kennedy Airport. Thank you. Now to NBC's Martin Fletcher at the Cairo, Egypt airport, where Flight 990 had been headed. Good evening, Martin.
John, Egypt's airline has experienced hijackings and bomb threats in recent years, but this is the first time in 23 years there's been a fatal crash. It took a few hours for airline officials to produce the passenger list. When they did, anxious relatives at last could find out the truth. This man cried, "My brother, my brother." Others said they could not bear to look at the list to see if their loved ones perished on the plane. This man was looking for his nephew's name, hoping not to find it.
Finally, I found his name. That's the final truth.
The son of his brother was indeed on the plane.
No, I just phoned to him and I heard him cry in the phone.
Officials rushed to set up a reception center for relatives, organize a flight to take them to the United States tomorrow, and fended off the press. They still have no answers. But the chairman of Egypt Air said he could not believe the cause was pilot error or a technical fault.
It indicates that something wrong happened to, not to the plane, but to either from outside the plane, from inside the plane. It's something which let the plane disappear suddenly from the screen of the radar.
Are you looking for an explosion, something that would have caused an explosion at this point?
I think that the investigation of the wreckage will tell us that, but till now I don't know.
And as the day wore on, more relatives arrived and heard the worst. Egypt Air officials will fly to New York tomorrow to help with the investigation, but they're relying on American investigators to come up with the cause of the crash. John?
Martin Fletcher in Cairo. Martin, thank you very much. So tonight on 2 continents, dozens of families are dealing with heartbreaking losses. We are joined now by someone who's been through what the Egypt Air Flight 990 families are enduring now. Heidi Snow lost her fiancé when TWA Flight 800 crashed. Now, through a nonprofit group called Access, she helps others through the cycle of grief. Good evening, Heidi.
Good evening.
What do the families need right now?
I think the most important thing that I've learned from speaking to other families and actually experiencing it myself is information, is to really have somebody there who is making an effort to get the word to the families, let them know exactly what it is, that's the current information about the investigation, exactly what's going on. And I think that is what's most important.
You also believe it's important to have someone to listen as well.
Yeah, on an ongoing basis. Right now, from my own experience, I remember it's just right now the families usually tend to be in a state of disbelief. I mean, it's just impossible to imagine that something of this enormity has actually occurred. And on an ongoing basis, when people actually leave the crash site and have to get on with their lives, it's a very difficult time as well, because they actually have to figure out how to move forward and continue to live without this person in their life.
Heidi, we don't know what caused this crash, and it may be months before we do know, if we ever know. How difficult is it to deal with that?
I think that not having answers really does make it more difficult for people. People want information. They want to make sense out of what has happened. And it's really important to learn as much as you can. But of course, with an air crash, that information is limited. And without that information, it is hard to make sense out of what happened.
How much has changed since TWA Flight 800?
With the Family Assistance Act, I believe that there's a lot more awareness, and people are a little bit more sensitive to the families, and things are a bit more organized. But when things get really difficult is when people have to reassimilate their lives and go forward, and that's why I founded Access, to provide a platform for people to get support from other people who have been through it on an ongoing basis. After the crash site closes, after it all leaves the media, and people actually have to start to accept what has happened to them and move forward with their lives.
Heidi Snow of the Aircraft Casualty Emotional Support Services, thank you for your insights tonight.
Thank you.
Our coverage of the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990 continues in just a moment.
A lot of people have allergies. I have multi-symptom nasal allergies. It's the sneezing, itchy, runny nose, the nasal congestion. It's all of it. I told my doctor, I've had it. I want an allergy medicine made for my kind of allergies. He prescribed multi-symptom Flonase.
Flonase nasal spray once a day relieves all nasal allergy symptoms all day and night.
All it takes is Flonase.
The #1 prescribed nasal allergy spray. Even kids as young as 4 can use Flonase. For best results, use daily. If side effects occur, they are generally mild and may include headache, nosebleed, or sore throat. Call to learn more. Ask your doctor about multi-symptom Flonase.
When you get it all it takes is Flonase.
Got heartburn up in your chest and throat? Only Gaviscon Liquid forms a soothing, protective barrier that helps keep acid down, something Maalox and Mylanta can't do. Gaviscon Liquid, it helps keep acid down where it belongs.
I use new Allercare Home Allergen Control because my daughter has allergies. And just look at her.
Introducing Allercare Carpet Powder for dust mites. 1 monthly treatment eliminates up to 99.9% of dust mites. Recommended by allergists. Available in the cleaning aisle of your store.
She's doing great, but I'm the one who's relieved.
Allercare to control dust mites and their allergens. Relief at last.
Amy Mankin, mom and pharmacist.
Winter means dry skin.
She knows dermatologists recommend Curel, and Curel moisturizes better than any leading therapeutic lotion.
It just heals dry skin better.
You can see the cure in Curel.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Monte Carlo. Green. The side you show the world is up to you.
Monday, Mariah Carey. Her first live television performance in over a year. Mariah Carey live outside our studio, only on Today.
The air search for wreckage of Egypt Air Flight 990 has been suspended for the night. It resumes in the morning, but boats are still working and will continue through the night. The flight was on its way to Egypt with more than 200 people aboard when it suddenly fell from the sky. As to the search for the cause, what caused the plane to crash, nothing is being ruled out, which means the FBI has to investigate the possibility of terrorism, even though there is no indication that explosives were involved. NBC's Pete Williams is following those developments. Good evening, Pete.
Good evening, John. Investigators from the FBI say their goal now is to check the passenger list for the names of any known terrorists, and they want to interview as many people as possible who've come in contact with that plane in the last few days while their memories are still fresh. Inside this room at the Los Angeles airport and at two other airports where the Egypt Air flight stopped, FBI agents today began dozens of interviews. They're working in 3 cities: Newark, New Jersey, where the plane stopped briefly yesterday on its way from Cairo; Los Angeles, where it arrived yesterday afternoon and picked up passengers; and New York, where it stopped last night to pick up more passengers and continue on to Cairo. Officials say they're questioning members of ground crews like these: baggage and cargo handlers, maintenance workers, including those responsible for refueling the plane, caterers from the in-flight food service company, and cleaning crews, and airport security personnel. The FBI's former top terrorism official says investigators want to do their interviews while memories are still fresh.
They'll look at maintenance records. They'll look at the way the baggage was handled. They'll see if anybody saw anything or knows anything that at this point seems important.
The FBI is also checking over the passenger list, looking for anyone with known terrorism connections. So far, officials say they have found nothing suspicious. FBI offices overseas are working with their local law enforcement contacts, checking on the non-American passengers too. One question was quickly answered today. Why did someone get on the plane in Los Angeles and off in New York instead of staying on for the scheduled international flight to Cairo? Turned out to be an airline employee. Law enforcement officials stressed tonight they know of no credible threats against this flight and no claims of responsibility for causing the crash. So at this point, no indication at all that terrorism was involved in bringing this plane down. John?
NBC's Pete Williams in Washington. Pete, thank you. And when we come back, some of the day's other news, including a court appearance by 4 Cleveland teenagers accused of plotting an attack on their schoolmate.
Out here, I'm in command. So am I supposed to say, slow down, guys, I'm constipated? I don't think so. You try to eat right. Sometimes you can't. Harsh chemical laxatives, they can kick in whenever and wherever. Not an option. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. It's got 100% natural fiber. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
At Transamerica,
Why?
we have specially priced life insurance policies for people who still exercise without a trainer. Call a Transamerica agent. The people in the pyramid working for you.
6 months ago, I wouldn't have considered doing this. Today, it's a different story.
Introducing PharmaSure Joint Formula. Scientifically formulated with ingredients that help rebuild and renew existing knee and hip cartilage.
99, 100. Phew, we made it.
Grandma, where's Bunny?
Oh, you're kidding.
PharmaSure, inspired by life, created by science. Only at GNC, Rite Aid, and drugstore.com.
With Transamerica Life Insurance and your estate plan, you can be sure your money will go where you want it to go. The people in the pyramid working for you.
What if the you of 20 years ago could meet the you of today? What would younger you think of older you? Would younger you be disappointed? Think you sold out? Or would younger you jump into your car, slap you on the back and say, road trip? The Mitsubishi Galant, ranked the #1 family sedan under 20 grand by Car and Driver. Long live younger you.
Monday, it's the largest cruise ship ever built. A crew of 1,100, 14 decks of entertainment. Is this sea giant the new wave of the future? NBC Nightly News Monday.
Are you looking for the right career opportunity? Join the Sprint's Furniture team of drivers and helpers where you will work with the best in the industry. We offer our drivers a salary of $27,000 to $30,000 a year and up, a 401k plan, medical insurance, paid vacations, year-end bonuses, and more. Come join our team of outstanding employees. Apply at our distribution center on Cockrell Bend Circle or call us at 615-350-1181.
We wish everybody a happy Halloween.
To Cleveland now, where the 4 ninth graders accused of planning a rampage at their high school remain in custody tonight despite claims of innocence in court this morning. Here's NBC's Jim Avila.
Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court. Separate, secret Sunday morning hearings. 4 teenagers deny they plotted a Columbine-style massacre at Cleveland's South High.
All 4 alleged delinquents have entered denials to the charges. This is a juvenile matter. It is confidential.
But as South High prepares to reopen tomorrow with uniformed police on campus, the father of one of the suspects calls the alleged plot a boyhood fantasy.
He's told me that he had no idea of the scale or anything.
William Gruber says his 14-year-old son Adam, whose basement bedroom is decorated with baseball cards and Hard Rock posters, never intended any real violence.
He was asked if he was going to be included, and his reply was, whatever.
But police charge Adam, John Borowski, and 2 15-year-old friends had developed specific plans, including a map for a school attack they called a second Columbine. The alleged motive, retaliation.
He's been jumped and all that. He's had his glasses broken and his coat stolen off and his brand new jacket. And you know, it's been hard for Adam.
No weapons tied directly to the alleged plot have been found, but Cleveland school authorities are convinced the boys were a threat to kill. Jim Avila, NBC News, Chicago.
President Clinton is on his way to Oslo, Norway tonight, where he will meet with Israeli and Palestinian leaders. The goal, to further accelerate the momentum for a Middle East peace agreement. NBC's John Palmer is at the White House.
As President Clinton left for Oslo, the White House described the next 2 days of talks as the beginning of the end game that could lead to a final peace settlement between Israel and the Palestinians.
There are tremendous challenges ahead. I will do everything I can to help, because peace in the Middle East is strongly in the interest of the American people.
For Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, it's an opportunity to end the conflict with the Palestinians that began with the establishment of Israel more than 50 years ago. For ailing Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, it's a chance to gain more West Bank territory and perhaps fulfill his dream of a Palestinian state. Secret negotiations in Oslo 6.5 years ago led to a White House signing ceremony on an agreement for a step-by-step approach to peace. But the most difficult issues were left until now, determining the fate of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian refugees, agreement on final boundaries between Israel and Palestinian territory, deciding what to do about more than 100 Israeli settlements on the West Bank, and determining the final status of Jerusalem, claimed by both Israelis and Arabs. Last month, Barak and Arafat set an ambitious timetable for their negotiations, an outline of a settlement by February with a comprehensive agreement by September.
I think that what they're seeking to achieve over the next 11 months is really a very daunting task indeed.
Nevertheless, White House officials believe there's a real chance of achieving a final peace settlement between Israel and the Palestinians by the end of next year, a development that would add a significant foreign policy achievement to President Clinton's legacy. John Palmer, NBC News at the White House.
And when we continue, more on today's top story, the crash of a commercial airliner off the coast of Massachusetts.
Hi, I'm Doug Flutie, pro football player and father of an autistic child. I started the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation to help less fortunate families of autistic children get the support they need. Here's a way you can help. Just dial 1010-220. All calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents, and 1010-220 will make a donation to the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation every time you use it. So dial 1010-220, get up to 20 minutes for only 99 cents, and help some great kids at the same time. It's a win-win situation. I wish football was this easy.
Quaker oatmeal is like a lifeguard. It's always there for you. And after we ate it for 30 days, it helped lower our cholesterol 23 points. So you could say it's a real lifesaver. And it sure is yummy. Quaker oatmeal warms your heart and soul.
50 is beautiful, and to stay that way, Pro Vital Revitalizing Cleanser with gentle microbeads and Olay moisture. It leaves skin smooth and resilient. Pro Vital from Olay, proven to be why women over 50 look so wonderful.
I need strong arthritis relief. I want soft skin.
Now I get both.
Introducing new Arthricare hand and body lotion. Fast relief of minor arthritis pain plus special skin softeners. Arthricare lotion. Pain relief plus moisturizers.
All in one.
Shake, 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 Sonora. Shake your body line. Shake, 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 Sonora. Shake it all the time. Okay. Dance, 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 Sonora.
It's time. Time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
An all-new Dateline Sunday. It's so potentially explosive that the NFL Players Union doesn't want you to know about it. But we've got the tapes. A Dateline exclusive Sunday.
It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
NBC Tonight. See why more than 35 million viewers have discovered Sunday's most exciting new hit.
None of this is all right, boss.
When violent crime hits home.
Faith.
How far will she carry justice?
You ain't really gonna do this.
All new Third Watch after Dateline, NBC Tonight, 8/7 Central.
Updating our top story tonight, a jumbo jet, Egypt Air Flight 990, crashed overnight about 60 miles south of Nantucket, Massachusetts. A day-long search did not result in any rescues. 1 body was recovered, as were a number of personal effects. Search flights have been suspended because of darkness. Search boats will be out throughout the night. The 767 aircraft was en route to Cairo from New York City. Most of the victims were Americans and included at least 2 groups of tourists. NBC's Rick Davis is on the scene in Nantucket tonight. Good evening, Rick.
Good evening, John. John, today the sheriff of Nantucket told me that he had men who were part of this search and that more will be going out. He said they were young men. They were specialists in underwater searching. And he emphasized what a grim and what a gruesome job that was. And he said that it would leave memories in these young men that they will never be able to rid themselves of. He said he knew that was true because he had done it himself as a young man. Today has been a time of a search too many of the sea, a ritual all too familiar here in the Northeast. And it is being repeated today along the waters of Nantucket Island. Just 3 years ago, to the south of here, it was much the same. On July 17th, 1996, TWA Flight 800 was bound for Paris. It would be another time of wrenching emotion. The airliner exploded just off Long Island, shortly after taking off from JFK Airport, killing all 230 persons aboard. On September 2nd, 1998, Swiss Air Flight 111 was preparing to make an emergency landing in Nova Scotia. It crashed into the Atlantic. All aboard, 229 passengers and crew members were killed. And this past July 16th, off the coast of Martha's Vineyard, a few miles from here in Nantucket, another time of grief. A small plane piloted by John F. Kennedy Jr. and carrying his wife Carolyn and sister-in-law Lauren plunged into the sea. There was a funeral at sea for a man who loved the sea. Tonight, along the Nantucket shoreline, there has been an end of the air search, but the sea search still goes on. Those ships are still out there. Tomorrow morning, searchers hope to begin finding bits of the wreckage of the Egypt airplane here on the Nantucket shoreline. They say this could be bits of evidence, clues of what caused that crash. John?
And 217 feared dead tonight. NBC's Rick Davis on Nantucket. Thank you. That is NBC Nightly News for this Sunday. Further updates on Egypt Air Flight 990 on Dateline coming up at 7 Eastern, 6 Central Time. Continuing coverage on our website, msnbc.com, as well as MSNBC on cable. I'm John Siegenthaler reporting tonight from New York. I'll see you back here next weekend, if not before.